Great. Happy to be here. Yeah, we played Brisbane last night. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really good time. So that kind of like set the bar high for tonight. But I think I had high expectations. Sydney's always a good crowd. So.
I'm just trying to fix myself.
Feels great.
Yeah, they're very receptive to the new songs, which is obviously always important, but we played ones from over 10 years ago and they knew those too. It's always cool to see that it spans over a decade, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, we've had, it kind of feels like we're on like our second or third wave of new fans, which is really cool. You know, I think we've had a lot of fans grow up with us, which is rad, and they're still coming back. We've seen a ton of people at the meet and greets and signings and stuff that are, you know, third, fourth, fifth time seeing us. And, but then there's tons of people who have never seen us before, which is exciting. You know, it's really cool when you get that kind of a fresh group coming in, new fans. Yeah, and it's cool. Like it's been really interesting because people are jumping on board with the new albums, but then they're going back and learning the back catalog as well. So it's really it's been solid. Well, I think being that it's bigger venues, so it's kind of a bigger show in general.
Yeah, I think this is our first tour we've been able to bring our own kind of production, our own lights, our own sound, stuff like that.
I think
kind of made our own show.
Definitely. In the past, we've never had, you know, all the extra production and the things that kind of create moments. So that's been an exciting thing to kind of really work around that.
So you've obviously been involved heavily in the production this time around, you would say?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oddly, we do.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. I mean, once we kind of get in the flow of things, you don't need it as much. But I mean, even up to today, we were just rehearsing a new song that we're adding in to the set. So.
Yeah, we basically get together before a tour and work through a set list. And if they're, you know, songs like Weightless or Maria, like we don't really need to practice those so much. So we'll just be like, we'll get to them, we get to them. But like the newer songs and songs we haven't played a while, we always make sure we have locked in.
Who I'd be if I walked away. Never know what it's like.
Really? Unfortunately, we really don't. Yeah, we're kind of, the shows are all stacked, so we're sort of, we flew in this morning, and we're just here. So it's kind of like, and we're saving tomorrow, flying to Melbourne straight away, so.
We had one day off, and we are flying back to Sydney to do a bunch of press.
Yeah. He's gone. He's out. He does this.
Sorry, I was like,
At all.
I knew that would come up pretty strongly in the interview, so. More music?
Yeah, I mean, we work on a lot of music. Rian literally bought a studio, so when we're not on tour, you're pretty much just holed up in the studio all the time, usually working with other bands. Yeah, similar to me, I've been doing a lot of writing for other acts, trying to get more and more into that, so I've been spending some of my off time working with other people.
It's kind of funny, people don't think of it this way, but like when we go home, that's our vacation, you know what I mean? Because it's not that this is work at all, but in a way it's what we do. And so when we go home, we kind of just like to just do nothing.
Yeah, it feels really good to
Yeah.
just kind of get back to doing normal stuff, you know, like not going out every day, not being in a new place all the time, and, you know, just kind of, being central, and sort of just having, like, going to, like, my local bar, and, you know, like, stuff like that, just catching up.
You have no idea how good it is to like sleep in your own bed, you know what I mean? And we love touring, but we also love being home, so that's kind of our time to just disappear and do whatever.
Sleep for days and catch up with family. And
That's the thing, is the first couple of days, you're like relaxed, like I'm not gonna leave home, and then like day 3 you're like, alright, what the hell, what am I supposed to do now? You know?
Yeah, it is important, like, to kind of find something to get into, because otherwise you just end up sitting around. I used to be cool with that, but now I get really antsy to do stuff.
Thinking about more music, more writing, more songs, more albums.
Yeah, just being productive. I feel like I'm wasting time if I'm just sitting around.
Dirty laundry, just piling in her.
I don't know about for the future. I think we're always going to write what we want to write in the moment, but I think for this album it very much became all about that. It was a very reflective record and had that kind of nostalgic quality to it lyrically, and then obviously we crafted the music to kind of fit that. A big callback was really what we were listening to at the time. I was going back and listening to a lot of music I grew up on, and just things that were kind of out of the box for us, stuff that we've never pulled from influence-wise before. You know, I was going back and listening to like The Cure and Depeche Mode and Prince and Bowie, and not like taking song ideas, but kind of just figuring out what little details made their music great and made it feel the way it felt. and kind of trying to adapt that and bring it into what we do to kind of pepper in new flavors that maybe people wouldn't expect to hear on the record.
I think Laundry was a great example of it was a great first single because, and first thing for the fans to hear off the new record because it kind of captures the record as a whole. I mean, it has these new bits and these new kind of darker themes, but by the end of it, it sort of sounds more like old All Time Low or whatever you want to call it. So it just gave fans like a nice, just a whole image of the record in one song.
Get the hell out of our interview!
Good done.
Boys, hello.
Hello. Leah. This is perfect.
How would you
Stay away from
describe
that.
it?
Yeah, I don't really care. Honestly, I don't like that question because it's just one of those things where it's like we've never really given a shit. We kind of let other people kind of give you that name and give you that label. I think for a long time we've always been kind of cast in that pop punk bubble because that's the world we came out of.
And of course, during that time, you had most people saying they're not pop punk.
Yeah, 100%. We were influenced like by at the time like Flint, Green Day, NoFX, bands like that came up, and we came up on the Warped Tour scene. So that was very much kind of what we were all about, and I understand why we were sort of fit into that. But I think the more that we've gone along, I think we really kind of try to move around. I don't think we, I don't exclusively listen to pop punk music or any one genre really. I've always been a fan of pop and alt and rock and all kinds of things. So at any given moment, I think we're all drawing from all kinds of different pools of influence.
And not to mention, like, if you kind of not label yourself, if you do say we're a pop punk band or we're a punk band, it kind of limits on what creatively you're willing to write. Because if you're stuck in this box of like, oh, well, we're a pop punk band, we're a rock band, that's all we can do, then it's just like, okay, let's write the same 15 records over and over again. It just doesn't become fun creatively, it doesn't become fun to play live, so we just like to kind of, we know what All Time Low is, we know what we want to be, we know where we've been, and we just kind of stay within that confine.
Yeah, we sort of found, I think the biggest thing is over time we found what works, and we know what doesn't work, and so we can move around within that space of what we know works, but kind of introduce new elements. And as long as it doesn't feel uncomfortable to us, I've found that that's sort of the biggest proponent for like our music connecting with our fans. I think is when we feel great about it, people pick up on it. If there's ever like when we put out a song that there was any kind of doubt or hesitation about, those are the ones that kind of fall short with people. So it's interesting that I think that happens with music. It's an inexplicable thing, but I think it's very it does happen.
You gave yourself room to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It wasn't about. We didn't set out to make a pop punk record or really any record. We just kind of, invented a sound that fit the characters on the record, fit the story, and created like this kind of universe for the album, for the music.
100%. Gave yourself room to grow, and that's I think the biggest thing now with most bands or even bands that kind of split off and go solo after a while. It's about creating what your niche is, but not confining yourself.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, there's nothing worse than seeing a band that doesn't believe in what they're playing on stage or doesn't want to be playing it. So if you're just having that room, like you said, to grow, just makes it all more fun for us too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, playing Weightless on stage every day is one of the most fun things ever, and that song, like those songs never get old because they come from a place that we appreciate. But if I were still writing or still convincing myself that I had to write Weightless Part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 every time we did an album, I would probably hate playing those songs.
The energy would go low.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel right, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we don't have any plans on stopping, so continuing the creative process, making more records, making more music for people is just, it feels, when the time is right, it's right. We got about 2 years past the last record, and it was like, we could write some more music. So that was really what it felt very natural. So we just kind of got to work on it, and as far as I kind of already explained, sort of like the creative path that we took. But yeah, I mean the process was really cool. We sort of knew we wanted to make a record, started writing songs, got lucky early in that we wrote a few songs early on in the process that felt like they would really help shape the album. So then from there we sort of went and chased what else could fill in the spaces around those songs.
Yeah.
He did something cool this time too. He's never done, I don't think, where he kind of went out on these writing journeys,
excursions,
like in the middle of nowhere, California or Nevada, wherever it was, and no distractions or anything like that. And just kind of the way it was set up was really cool because you can tell it better, but if you get bored or you get stuck on one song, you go next door and you start writing another one, and there's nothing to like take you away from it.
Yeah, it was really like these. I just kind of basically went on these writing trips and invited some friends and like we'd rent out a house and put multiple studio setups in those houses. And so there would always like at any given moment I was kind of working on 4 or 5 songs at a time. And so yeah, if you got stuck on one, rather than being like, oh whatever, let's go get coffee and then never come back to this,
Yeah.
you'd kind of be like, I'm gonna go next door for a minute. And then like while working on another song, you'd have a revelation that would finish the other one next door. Like, so it was good. It kind of helps to put yourself in a bubble sometimes.
You're going to give me some tips.
I think we have high expectations in the sense that we want it to succeed and we want to keep growing the fan base, and hopefully this will be the biggest record we've ever put out. But that being said, you know, I think the chart position and the things like that, it's so fickle and it's so fluid all the time. You know, there's a very good chance that we were only number 1, number 2 because there was nothing else that came out that week. You know what I mean? So it's like we were really proud of the numbers that we sold, and we were so stoked that the fans came out and showed up and bought the record. But as long as our fans are engaged and get out there and want to buy it, that's really all we care about. So
Hang on 1 second.
Moody, vibey,
Journey, not the band Journey.
adventurous.
But it's cool. It's like most of our records definitely pretty much, you know, this all the way through. There was no, I mean, maybe you have an acoustic song or something like that, but this one really does from front to back. It takes you on a bit of a musical journey, thematic journey, and that's something very new for us. I guess it's not a few words, but relatively.
It was a few. It was 140 characters or less.
Yeah,
It was a
that's
tweet.
right.
It was tweet?
Tweets were. Always, yeah. I mean, I feel like this band is one of the reasons I think we managed to sustain is the fact that we have never really taken our eyes off of the next thing. I feel like every time we've come up and achieved the goal that we set ourselves, it's like, okay, that moment was great. Now what's the next thing? So we've always kind of strived for greatness and. I mean, just to continue to grow, to get bigger, and to spread the word, to reach as many people as we can possibly reach around the world. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of with this band is the fact that we're not just delegated to one country like some. You know, I think it's really great that we can go everywhere in the world and have an amazing fan base and an amazing following.
I was thinking about it on stage yesterday when we were in Brisbane. It's like, I was looking out there and I was like, damn, that's a lot of people like, for anywhere. And I was like, that's crazy. We're 10,000 miles away from where we started.
Yeah. And
there's that many people out there. It's always a cool feeling.
P.S. Sydney will top it.
More tickets sold tonight, so.
Yeah, it's true. Tonight's bigger.
I mean, we're
Most of it.
we're sort of rolling out music, and the record will come soon in June, obviously, and then we're just kind of, we have so many tours, we have dates booked through pretty much the end of the year already. Some aren't announced yet, but we're kind of already talking about what's happening next year. So yeah, it's full steam ahead, really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So,
And hopefully we get to come back here soon, quickly, because last time it took us a little while to get back. So
so.
yeah, I think that this time the goal will be to get back a little quicker than last time.